Morning everybody, welcome to IAS 2025. I'm Grant from First Light Optics and behind the camera is Chris. Hello. We're going to give you a little walkthrough of our stand today. Just bear with us because it was still setting up. It's about an hour before opening time and then, we're putting the last finishing touches to the stand, so it's not perfect, but we'll give you a walkthrough of what we've got. Starting over here, we've got the Seastar stand. So we've got a couple of Seastars on display and a screen showing various bits of information about the Seastars, pictures taken with Seastars. These will be fired up shortly and turned on, and we'll have members of staff over here ready to talk to you about all things Seastar. And this is our glorious new Seastar stand that you'll hopefully see at other events in the future. Looking lovely. Next up we've got our smart telescope stand. Again, we've got videos there of example images taken through smart telescopes and lots of information to find out a bit more. We're still putting this stand together at the moment, so we've got on display an Origin, a standard Origin on its Altaz mode. This is a Mark 1, but it's identical to a Mark 2 apart from the camera change, which will upgrade this one later. We've got a Hestia there, which is going to be becoming very helpful next year for the solar eclipse. It's a great way to capture the solar eclipse on a smartphone. And we've got a Dwarf 3. These are currently just been on a Halloween sale, so really well priced at the moment. Next up, we've got the new Vespera X. This is my new favourite. I think it's very cool to see the inner working. So it's got a transparent body, which means you can actually see the worm, the wheel, the gears, the electronics. It's very cool. So if you're kind of a bit of a collector of these things, it's a good package. It also comes with a new carbon fibre tripod, which I much prefer to the older tripod, and it comes with a really nice sort of hard case that zips over the top of it as well now, which I really like. Then we've got another S50, and there will be an S30 behind it set up shortly, and these will be rotating around to catch people's eyes. Next up we've got the Vespera 2. So the Vespera X and the Vespera 2 are identical inside, it's just the transparent body that differs, and the Vespera X comes with a hygrometer built in, whereas the Vespera 2 you have to install that yourself. Behind that you've got the Vespera Pro, which has got the Nikon sensor, the high resolution Nikon sensor, bigger memory, bigger battery, but otherwise very similar form factor, identical form factor as you can see. Then we've got the Origin on the wedge. So this is a bit of a beast. So if you want to take longer exposures with your Origin, this is a Celestron wedge. And then on top, it's got the StarSense Auto Guider. So what this will do is you'll go for a polar alignment routine, but then you'll be able to take exposures of 5-10 minutes with guiding, auto guiding from the StarSense Auto Guider. So it's very powerful setup. It is a bit of a lump to move around. But it does work very well and lets you get those longer exposures. Next up we've got our ZWO stand. We've got a huge amount of ZWO stock here at the show. We've got a few bits and pieces on display for people to look at, but mostly we've got stuff in stock ready for people to come and take away. At the end there we've got something very special, which is a Teleview MP101 that's signed by Al Nagler, who sadly passed away earlier this week. Al was a huge influence on the astronomy community and will be very sadly missed. So this is a scope that we'll be keeping forever. It's signed by Al just on the side there, so it's really special to have this. Definitely not something we're going to be selling. We've also got some leaflets that Al used to hand out at shows. Al was trying to change the world and change Saturday to Saturn Day. So we thought, as a little tribute for Al, we printed some of these little leaflets out, and it's very inspirational. He was a really incredible man, and hope people pick up some of these leaflets and help spread the word about Saturn Day. Also on the back of this is an imaging setup. So we've got a ZWO rotator, ZWO camera, ZWO guide scope and guide camera, and then the AM5. So this is what Gary Palmer's been using as his imaging rig recently, and he's getting some absolutely incredible images for the MP101. It is genuinely just so sharp, so much detail, and you really see it in the sort of fine background details of some of the objects he's been imaging. So it really shows you that a telescope of that quality really does eke out that last few percent of detail on deep sky objects. Next up we've got our remote observatory and stand section. and our solar section. So Gary Palmer's running this for us. If you want to find out a bit more information about our remote observatory, come and have a look. So that's remoteobservatory.com. And then we've also got a whole bunch of solar stuff here. We'll try and go through as much of it as possible. The front here is our current favourite, which is the Heliostar 76. Stonking telescope. It is double stack performance, £2,500, incredible price point for a 76mm hydrogen alpha telescope. It's on the Solar Quest mount, which is my favourite mount to use for outreach. It will just automatically find the sun for you, track the sun and image it all day. And this is on my favourite tripod at the moment, which is our Stellar Lyra carbon fibre tripod. And this whole rig is actually what I use for outreach now, because it's incredibly grab and go, incredibly stable. And the mount, when a kid hangs off the end of your telescope and pulls it off the sun, all you do is turn the mount on and off, and within a few seconds you're back on the sun and tracking, and it's just so reliable. At the back here is my other outreach setup that I use. This one is actually currently for sale now, simply because it is a bit too big to cart around, so it doesn't get as much use as it should. This is an AM3 mount. It's the special edition Red Cat version. It's again on one of our Stellar Lyra tripods with an ASCAR 120 Apo telescope, which is a beautiful telescope. The focuser on this is incredible, and it needs to be because it's holding a pretty big payload. It's got a quantum on the back, so this is a sort of research grade version of the Quark. So it gives you very, very tight band pass for HA solar imaging, and you can actually dial in that band pass by changing the settings digitally using the buttons on the back or via the serial port on the side. So this is, if you're a high resolution solar imager, this is the setup you want. Because of the aperture, you need an ERF on the front, so it's got a Daystar ERF on the front there as well. So that's available as a complete package. So if you're interested, come and stop by and have a chat. Next up is a Daystar Solar Scout. This is also what I use for outreach. This gives you a really nice double stack full disc image. Again, on a Solar Quest mount. It is a Solar Quest mount, but it's the Acuta version, which is why it's silver. This one I have on a Skywatcher stainless steel tripod for stability, and I find that just absolutely rock solid. I'll be totally honest, I'm not a massive fan of the tripod that comes with a Solar Quest. It's okay, but if you're trying to use it extended, I find it not as stable as something like the carbon fibre tripod or the stainless steel tripod. Next we have the Acuta Solaris, which is their white light telescope setup. This is a great way if you're new to solar and you want to try some white light and you're just a bit worried about how to start, how to make sure it's safe, everything like that. This is just a package that will just do it all for you. So out of the box, it will just work. You haven't got to think about anything. It's very safe. It's got built-in color filters to accentuate some of the detail on the sun. It comes with a zoom eyepiece. And it's just a great little package. It's a bit basic on the focuser, but then it's designed to meet a certain price point to make it a bit more affordable for people to get into white light solar. Again, on another Solar Quest mount, and this is the standard Solar Quest tripod. As I say, it's okay, but I think fully extended, I prefer to use something a bit more stable. But if you're just getting started, it's a decent place to start. Another Solar Quest mount, you can see I'm a big fan of these. I use 3 or 4 of these. This has got the Acuta Phoenix on, and this is an incredible little hydrogen alpha telescope. It's sub £1,000, and it's better than single stack. It's very, very contrasty, gives you beautiful views, and it just works really well. This is the latest V2 version, so there's an updated solar finder on this, and they've made a few other little tweaks to the mechanics. But optically, it's just as good as the first batches. We test all of these and all of the Heliostars, and pretty much all of our solar stuff we actually test on the sun. Gary Palmer does that testing for us, and that just ensures that we know it meets the sort of quality levels that we expect, and that it's going to work for you out of the box. But if you are looking to get into hydrogen alpha, this is the place to start. Sub £1,000, incredible value for money, and better than anything else that's ever existed at that sort of price point previously. I'm a big fan of this, and this is another one we use for outreach. Coming over here, this stand we're still just setting up at the moment. This is the Pegasus stand. So we've got one of our Stellar Lyra 106 telescopes on here. I'll talk about that a bit more in a bit, but this is here really to demonstrate the Smart Eye. So this is on the NIX 88 mount, and it's got a Smart Eye on the back. luckily got to use one of these for the first time at the Kilda Star Party, and I was really blown away by how easy it was to use and the incredible views you get from it. It's something quite strange and magical about looking what feels like you're looking for an eyepiece, but you're seeing a colour image of a nebula, and the comet images I got for it were really kind of awe-inspiring, really, to see structure in the tail and stuff like that you just couldn't see visually because of the way the live stacking works in the screen. And weirdly, the OLED screen, it doesn't feel like you're looking at a screen. It's a very unusual and different experience. If you get a chance, come along to the stand and there'll be some demos running on that. As I say, we're still setting this up, so there's some other Pegasus stuff to go up here. We've got a NIX 101 mount as well. This has got a William Optics scope on the top, an FLT. It's an FLT 120, should have known that. I mean, this has got an absolutely monster focuser on it. Really nice optics on the FLT range. All the FLT are incredible optics. We check and tune these in-house. These make a really nice setup for visual observers as well as imagers. That sharpness of the optics and the color correction, and that little bit of extra aperture as well. It's fantastic little scopes. Next up, we're joined by our friend from Canada, Steve Mallier of Starfield Optics. He's got some new bits to show us, but we've got on display the range of Starfield scopes. So the Starfield 60, which is a quad f5 PETSFull. This is a really cute little grab and go setup, great optics. Would work really nicely on one of the small Ioptron harmonic drive mounts, so you could really genuinely have a full setup in a little carry case with everything you need ready to go. So it makes it super portable. Very flexible scope. It's got the Starfield mini guide scope on the top as well, which complements it really beautifully. And then if you want a little bit more aperture, the bigger brother is the 70mm quad. Again, same excellent optics, great focuses on these. This one's got the nice little handle as well, so if you want to kind of fit your ASA Air and a guide scope to it, you've got a couple of options there, which makes it a little bit more flexible. Still pretty grab and go, you know, it's not huge, but it's just a little bit more aperture if you want that. Next up, we've got one of the larger guide scopes. So if you, again, some people prefer a slightly larger guide scope. So I think this is the, I was going to say, yeah, 60. I can tell if it's the 50 or 60. This is a 60mm one, and there is also a 50mm, which is on the telescope behind. So depending on what your needs are, these have all got really nice helical focusers on them. Really nice and easy to adjust, and pretty much any guide camera on the market will just slap on the back and away you'll go. At the front, we've got the Gear 80. This is a triplet. Again, same great build quality as the other telescopes in the Starfield range. Yeah, nice little handle on the top, great focuses again. And then behind you've got the latest version of the 115. So this is a airspace triplet, really nice color correction on these. This has got the handle with the saddle as well. And yeah, really great scopes. Nice big chunky Losmody bar on that. Not sure what the weird alarm's going off in the background, so we won't worry about that. But the most exciting thing that we've got on the Starfield stand today is the prototype of the new Starfield Tri-Pier. So this has been designed by Steve in Canada. It's built in Canada. It's a really interesting design, hexagonal design, folds down super small. Very portable. There's a handle on the side that makes it really nicely balanced to move around. So even though it's, you know, big, chunky, stable thing, it's still easy to move around. This is the prototype, so there's a few bits that are going to change, but there's really nice adjustable legs. It's very solid, spring-loaded, and we're really excited to bring this to the market as soon as we can get them out of Steve, who sat over there putting a flag together. So yeah, as I say, this is the prototype. The top is just 3D printed, so don't let that fool you. The production one will be a CNC machined aluminium top. It's all powder coated. As I say, it's very exciting to see something being made in Canada and bringing some production back into Canada. And Steve's taken what he knows about tri-piers and the market and really made a huge number of improvements that I think this is going to be the best tri-pier on the market, and it's going to be great for star parties. What is the payload? What is the payload? 250. 250 kilos? Or pounds? Pounds. See, yeah, I don't know. So that's going to be what, about 110 kilos, 100 kilos. So that's going to be ridiculous. You know, nobody's going to be loading that much stuff up on it. But I think for star parties, if you want to take a bit of a bigger rig along, that's going to be absolutely amazing. There'll be a bunch of adapters for the top to suit a whole load of different mounts. So come along, have a look, and we'll have more details on this on the website very shortly, and pricing, etc. So now we're going to go to the central section of our stand, and this is where we've got 4 monster setups in the corner, and we'll go through each one of those in turn. Then we've got our telescope trees in the middle, and we've got our Takahashi alley, and then we've got our small telescope display as well. So we'll tackle this bit by bit. Starting here, we've got something very unusual, something you don't see every day. So this is a canted pier. What that means is you don't need to meridian flip. So this pier is set to your individual latitude. You'll have a little bit of adjustment on the mount, but generally it's set roughly to your latitude. What it will then mean is the mount can carry on slewing, tracking all the way past meridian, doing away with those meridian flips. Now this one's got an EQ8 on it. So technically it's a bog standard Skywatcher EQ8 underneath all of this, but it's been pimped out to the max. So Shibumi over in Ireland modify these, and they turn them into a side-by-side mount. So the EQ8 is a great platform. It's got really robust bearings, it's got a huge payload and incredible value for money. And Tony over there takes them, changes all the bearings, changes the worm, changes so much of the internal to make this the best possible mount it can be. And then he very cleverly, magically makes it so you can use it in this side-by-side mode like this. And you can see we've got a 12-inch RC on one side, a Stellar Lyra 12-inch RC, and then an ASCAR 203 8-inch triplet on the other side. So this is there's a huge payload on this. This isn't something everybody's going to do in their back garden, obviously, but we just want to show off what is possible. The ASCAR 203 is an incredible piece of kit. I mean, there's never been this much aperture triplet available at this price point. A few years ago, this would have been £20,000-30,000. Now it's sub £8,000. It's incredible. It's very heavy. It takes a couple of you to put it on a mount. Beautiful focuser, as always with ASCAR. Lovely machining, very, very meticulously made. Beautiful CNC machinery everywhere. And lovely optics, great color correction. This would make a superb visual scope, like the ultimate visual scope, but it's a great imaging package as well. 12-inch RC, we've got a few of our RCs here. This is the lightweight mirror version, so it has a honeycomb mirror in the back, which is pretty incredible. Carbon fiber truss tube, holds its collimation really well, really robust, really solid. Lovely mirrors on these, made by GSO in Taiwan. We check and tune these as well to make sure they perform at their absolute best. So we tweak the mirrors, make sure nothing is too tight, and check the optics prior to dispatch. And these are beautiful, beautiful machines. My colleague Vince is using the 10-inch version at the moment and getting some absolutely stonking images out. None of us understand though, his one turned up in full collimation. He's not collimated it yet. It's like a miracle, and he is getting some absolutely wonderful results out of it. These in future will be coming with the upgraded GSO rack and pinion focuser. That's one of the weak points there's been in the past of the GSO focusers. The Crayford design doesn't hold a huge payload. Now the rack and pinion versions hold a much bigger payload, much more stable, much less backlash, all of those good things that we want to see. So we really think it's elevated them to the next level. So this is a really stunning setup. Now we'll turn ourselves to a bit of Takahashi alley. So this first bit is an Ioptron HAE 16 mount. So this is incredible, tiny little mount. I mean, this really is a backpack size sort of mount. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said the Starfield 60 would make a great match for one of the small Ioptrons. It would be something like this. It would make a wonderful imaging package. This is on our Stellar Lyra carbon fiber tripods as well. Really lightweight tripod. We've had my colleague stand on one of these, and it bears his weight. They're very, very strong, very stable. They can be extended more if you'd like, but they don't need to be. I prefer, if I'm imaging, having it pretty low down. On the top is a Takahashi 60 CB. So this is a f5.9 doublet fluorite refractor. Very compact, lovely mechanical design. It's using more blue tube rings there. We like to have them on tube rings rather than cradles. And this would just make a really great grab and go setup. It's a lovely visual, little portable visual scope, but it also does a very good job of astro and sort of terrestrial photography as well. Next up, we've got a HEM 15, which is a hybrid harmonic drive mount. Again, tiny little things. These really are remarkable what the payload is. We love them, it shows, because we don't have to bring counterweight, so it saves us a huge amount of weight and hassle. And again, for portability, it's kind of unbeatable now. Again, another Stellar Lyra tripod. I'm not going to talk about those every time. We've got lots of those in use here. More blue tube rings again. Actually, no, it's not. Sorry, these are our Stellar Lyra tube rings. I lied. And the ones before were our Stellar Lyra ones as well. We have got some more blue ones out and about here, but these are our Stellar Lyra ones. They're made for us by Rowan Astronomy here in the UK. Lovely machine, and we think the silver complements the tacks really nicely. This is an FOA 60Q, so this is the extended version of the FOA scope. So this has the built-in extender, bringing it up to f15. So this will be a bit of a planetary killer, be beautiful on the moon. And as with all the tacks, it will be incredibly pin sharp. It will just be unbeatable for that. Next up, HEMS 27. So with the Ioptron mounts, the number indicates its payload in pounds. And we generally find with Ioptron, it's about right. You know, some manufacturers will quote a payload and then we recommend not going more than 2/3 of that. Ioptron, I think you can get a lot closer to their recommended payload, as long as you can convert pounds into kilos. So their number will be the payload in pounds, as they're a US company, a US-based company. So just bear that in mind. So these are more blue tube rings, beautifully machined. Again, the silver complements the Takahashi, lovely. This is an Ioptron carbon fiber tripod, similar to our Stellar Lyra ones, but it has a different head to suit the Ioptron mounts that need to use threaded bolts that go in from above rather than 3/8 screw threads that go from underneath. So this is a FCT 65D. This is their new cutting-edge astrophotography scope. So it's triplet optics. Strail ratio of 98%, which is pretty incredible. Very, very tiny pin spots on the spot diagrams for this. Great astrophotography rig. Yeah, very grab and go, which is the trend these days. We're seeing lots more grab and go scopes. And I think that works. That combination is a really nice combination. So that's what we're trying to show here with the Ioptrons and the Takahashis and the hardware is how you can combine some of these things. This is a Paramount Mighty on a helium tripod. So this is the latest version of the Paramount Mighty with the upgraded electronics. They now use the XT60 connectors, which we'll talk about even more later. This is the helium tripod, beautifully made. These are excellent mounts. We use several of these in our remote observatories ourselves. And on top, it's got a 10-inch RC with an imaging rig. So on the back, we've got a Pegasus Prodigy focuser. We've got this is a setup that's actually about to go over to our remote observatory and be used by UK universities. So showing you how we set stuff up. Now the cable's a bit of a mess. It wouldn't go into the observatory like this. It would get cable managed a little bit better. But it's got a Pegasus Ultimate power box on the top. This is what we use on all of our setups remotely. That allows you to manage the USB and turn it on and off remotely. Full power control, due control, motor focus control. They're just very reliable units and becomes a central hub for the whole setup. And we use a mini PC on top of that. Yeah, the Pegasus Prodigy focuser, we find a great match for the RCs. Very, very strong focuser, huge payload, and absolutely no backlash, really accurate. It's just a great focuser. Then we've got something a bit special, which is the Rotarian 2-inch instrument rotator, 2.5-inch instrument rotator. So this allows you to switch between different imaging payloads. So on the back of this, we've got a color camera, a mono camera with a filter wheel. I think this one has the Sloan filters in for a photometry. Then we've got a Shellac spectroscope. And then we have a planetary camera as well. So with this one telescope, we can switch between color imaging, which they'll want to use for outreach, live outreach events, mono imaging for photometry, spectroscopy, and then planetary, lunar, high resolution, all with one telescope, just by being able to change the imaging payload that you've got selected. So that's pretty unique, pretty special. It's an expensive bit of kit, but when you bear in mind you're then turning one telescope into 4 telescopes, it actually can add real value for money, because with remote setups, it's all about the space you're consuming. So if you can get more jobs out of one telescope, it can actually be a beneficial way of going about things. Next up, we have the original Starfield Tri-Peer. As I said, this is being replaced by the upgraded model, but this was the original model, still a great peer. But Steve has made quite a lot of improvements versus this version. On the top of it is the HAE 69 harmonic drive mount. Again, 69 indicates 69 pound payload capacity. We've really sort of over-mounted the scope on top. This is a 76 DC on top, f7.5 doublet fluorite apo refractor. Great visual instrument this, really beautiful telescope. Using our stellar lyra rings again. Really nice high contrast. I mean, it's a Takahashi. What else is there to say? Next up, one of the sort of best astrographs on the market, which is the FSQ85. So this is an f5.3 quad. Really large imaging circle on this. You can go up to 44 mil, so that's sort of pushing full frame. These are using our stellar lyra tube rings again, and this is on a Gem 45, so not a harmonic drive this time. This is a traditional worm and wheel and sort of standard stainless steel tripod. So a little bit more old school mount these days. Most customers tend to go for the harmonic drives, but there's still definitely a place for the worm and wheel. And we use the SEM 40, which is the center equatorial version of this mount in our remote observatories ourselves. Next up, we've got a HAE 43 with a Takahashi Epsilon 130 on top. So this is a super fast astrograph reflector. I'm not sure that price is right. That's okay. That's the price for the rings. I was thinking, hang on, that seems very cheap. So that's the price for the rings. The actual OTAs are a bit more than that, but it is f3.3, so incredibly fast. So if you're trying to do those super wide field shots, trying to go really deep and trying to catch as much photons as quickly as possible, this is a really good way to go. We've seen a bit more of a trend back towards that, actually, the fast kind of fast imaging with the RASAs and other telescopes like that. And this is Epsilon. It's been around for a while. Really nice telescope. Bit different having the yellow for Takahashis. That's the colour they use for all their Epsilons, but you don't tend to see it in any other types of telescope, which is interesting. Nice focusers on these, chunky focuser, and yeah, nice chunky Takahashi tube rings on these. Personally, I think I would prefer black or silver tube rings. I'm not sure the green goes with the yellow, but you know, each to their own taste, I guess. I know a lot of people really like that Takahashi green, but I think with the yellow, I think I would have gone for black. But
kind of clashes a little bit.
It does, but you know, I guess in the dark it doesn't matter, does it? Although we say that, but we all worry about how these things look. HEM 44 next. So this is a hybrid harmonic drive, so it means the RA is harmonic and the deck is standard worm and wheel. This is on an Ioptron tripod this time, just showing different options. And on top is probably one of our favourite here at Flo's telescopes, which is the Takahashi 100 DC. I think, Chris, you have one of these?
I've got one of these.
Yeah, there we go. And this is with the stellar lyra tube rings. Again, I think the silver tube rings really complement this beautifully. We put it on a big Losmandy plate just for the sake of it here, but you could put this on the Vixen. It's not a heavy telescope. It sort of surprises you, considering the aperture, how lightweight this telescope is. Beautifully constructed, incredible optics, great visual instrument, and it really outpunches its aperture. I don't know how, but when I've looked for it, I've always thought like, it feels like you're looking for a telescope of a larger aperture. I think just because the optics are absolutely bang on. You know, I don't think you can get much closer to perfection than this, and it is a real favourite.
Planetary imaging with mine, that it competes with larger aperture scopes.
It's incredible.
Somehow, I don't know
there's some Takahashi magic in that, but it's one of our favourites here at Flo, and great visual instrument, great for astrophotography. Really good on solar as well, actually, with appropriate solar filtration. Muon 210 next. So if you're really into your planetary, this is where you want to be. f11.5. This has got incredible optical surface in it. You know, the precision in this, the surface precision is second to none. These are so sharp. And in talking with colleagues and things, this is one of the sharpest scopes people have ever looked through for lunar, high resolution lunar imaging, planetary imaging, that type of thing. This is where you want to be. It's on a Ioptron tripod, and these are huge, chunky tripods. Very, very stable, huge payload. Very well priced as well, and they fold down pretty small. They really do, and I think they look quite nice. I think that's a really nice looking setup. The white of the legs and the white of the Takahashi complements each other. And this is on a HAE69 EC. So what that means is it's the encoder version. So it will give you incredible tracking without having to guide. You might still want a guide, but the encoders will give you incredibly accurate tracking accuracy. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful, beautiful setup. I would take that home. Next up, we've got one of our corner pieces. So this is an Arctron 7120. So this is the flagship telescope in their range, really, the highest payload they offer. Not quite true, because they now have a fork mount design. But still, we use one of these in our remote observatory in Spain. Excellent performance, really beefy mount, great power management, super reliable, and this is on a Tri-Peer 360. Again, absolutely monster Tri-Peer, this one. So the 360 one is the sort of upgraded version of their standard Tri-Peer, bigger payload, much chunkier central hub, and on top is something very special. This is a TOA 150, so you're looking at a 6-inch Takahashi OTA here. I mean, this is a dream telescope for a lot of us, and I think it works really well on this setup. So it's using the Takahashi rings and Takahashi Losmandy bar there. Great little handle on top to make it a bit easier to get in the mount. Stonking great focusers on these, really nice focuser. Really, there's absolutely no flex or movement there whatsoever. They are so stable. This would make an incredible, it is a monster, isn't it? This would make an incredible imaging instrument, but also visually, it's going to be so sharp. The color correction in that is going to be absolutely incredible. And it really is just a beast, an absolute beast of an instrument. So yeah, come and take a look at this, and come and have a play. Next up, we've got another Starfield Tri-Peer. We talked about those before, so I'm not going to talk about the things multiple times. This is on a HAZ 71, so this is a little bit different. This is one of the Ioptron's Altaz mounts. So this would be great visual. These work really well if you want to mount some binoculars on top, that type of thing. It really is designed for visual, where you've got a big payload. On the back, on the top even, we've got a Takahashi 120. So this is a TSA 120 triplet. It's not necessarily what you might want to use for visual. You'd probably be using this for imaging, but it is obviously a very good visual instrument as well. The same with all the TACs. They're pretty universal, and you can use them for astrophotography and imaging. These are our Stellar Lyra tube rings on a Losmandy bar. I think this is a Stellar Lyra Losmandy bar. Yeah, nice focuser on the back of this again, as you would expect. Yeah, beautiful telescope. Next up, we have some dust caps on the floor, so we'll fix that in a minute. Ignore those, nothing to see here. But this is a SEM 70 mount, so you can see it visually, it looks a little bit like a smaller SEM 120, which is kind of what it is. Great cable management through, again, traditional worm and wheel, again, this one, 70-pound payload. And on the top, we've got a TOA 130 OTA, using the Takahashi cradles. Again, great focuser on the back of this. And lovely Takahashi optics on the front. This is f7.7, and yeah, beautiful telescope. This again would make a beautiful visual instrument, beautiful astrophotography instrument, just a lovely all-round telescope. So we've got a lot of TACs on display. That was our Takahashi Alley. I think there might be a couple more in the middle. We'll come to those in a minute. We'll just turn to our fourth corner piece. We've done all our four corners now. This is a 16-inch RC. It's not technically the biggest RC that we can supply now. So these now we can supply 18 and 20-inch versions of these, and hopefully at a future show I really want to bring a 20-inch to show everybody, but this is a 16-inch, and I think for most people this is where you would probably max out. This would fit in a Pulsar 2.7 meter observatory, no problem, and it's on a GM2000 mount. Now the GM2000, the whole 10 micron range, they are the sort of pinnacle of what you can do with a worm and wheel mount. They've got absolute encoders, incredible accuracy. When you do the modeling, you get just amazing go-to accuracy. We've used the GM1000 in our remote observatory in the past, and they're just very reliable mounts. They're not cheap, but they are pretty incredible. And I think when you go to most remote observatories these days, you'll find that most of the mounts are either power mounts or 10 micron. You see more and more harmonic drives creeping in, but for the big stuff, it's going to be a Paramount or a 10 micron. If it's a really big, it's going to be a plane wave. The 16-inch RC, this is the lightweight mirror again, honeycomb mirror on the back of this. This has got the upgraded focuser with a rack and pinion, and it is a beautiful instrument. I've looked through these visually and used them for astrophotography, and they really are great. Really good value for money as well. You know, 16-inch astrograph under £8,000. Pretty incredible. So come and check it out. Come and have a play. Yeah. Next up, we're going to just cover our small telescope display. We're not even halfway through, guys, and I'm running out of puff. So it's going to be a big one today. This is the most space we've ever had at a show. It's the most stock we've ever had to bring. We actually had to bring an 18-ton lorry because we brought so many pallets of gear. So yeah, there's a lot to show you. So starting up is our Stellar Lyra 4.5-inch carbon fibre imaging Newtonian. We've got a new batch of these coming in soon, which will have the shortened tube, and there will be a dedicated coma corrector. So I think these are going to be a great choice for people that want to get into astrophotography on sort of more of a budget, but also giving you that much bit more aperture. Good focusers on these. These are rack and pinion 2-inch focusers, carbon fibre tube, keeps the thermal stable, keeps it a bit more lightweight. These hold their collimation really well. Just good value starter, little imaging Newtonians really. Next up, 4.5-inch classical Cassegrain. So if you want to do a bit of planetary imaging or planetary visual, grab and go. These are great value as well. These have been around for a little while, but they're still great little scopes.
Okay, we're good.
This is the ASCAR 71 flat field ED refractor, so great value for money, under £600. Really nice focusers on the ASCARs as always. Nice colour scheme on this one, good colour correction. Nice little handle on top, good grab and go setup. Next up we've got the William Optics Red Cat 51. Been around a while now, the Red Cat 51, but this is the WIFD centre focusing model, and these really are sort of come a long way, the evolution of these. You've now got the lovely little handle on top to put your guide scope in, or just to make it easier to move around. Again, great grab and go setup. ASCAR 60, same sort of range as the 71F we talked about before. Same great focuser, good mechanics on these. You don't get the handle on this one, but you do get 2 finder shoes. Really good value for money. Next up, you've got the Mini Cat. So if you're looking for something a bit faster, a bit more portable, this is tiny. It's ridiculously tiny. So again, great grab and go setup. Very versatile. At the end, we've got an FMA 180, even smaller little scope again. This is the V2 Pro, and again, this is absolutely minuscule little thing. Great for doing super wide field shots, Milky Way type shots, stuff like that. Let's head over to our telescope tree. So the first one of these is our Stellar Lyra Stellar Myra tree. At the top we've got the Stellar Lyra 6-inch RC. That isn't the carbon fibre one. We've got a label saying it's the carbon fibre one. It's the standard one. It's the standard metal tube version. And underneath you've got the 8-inch carbon fibre, sorry, not carbon fibre, the 8-inch RC. There is a carbon fibre version of both of those. Underneath you've got a 6-inch f4 Newtonian with a 2-inch dual speed focuser, and underneath that you've got the 8-inch version. All nice Crayford focusers on these, but you can upgrade them to rack and pinion if you prefer. And then towards the bottom we've got our new range of carbon fibre imaging Newtonians. These have got CNC machined secondaries, really nicely made tube rings, carbon fibre tubes, rack and pinion focusers. They're great setups, really beautiful telescopes. Great for astrophotography, but they're good visual instruments as well. We've got the 4.5-inch version we talked about earlier, and we've also got a 10 and 12-inch version of those coming along shortly. Down the bottom we've got an 8-inch. This is that's not a classical Cassegrain. I think these are the carbon fibre RCs. I think we've got our labels a little bit mixed up on these. This is the 8-inch carbon fibre RC, and then the 6-inch carbon fibre RC. So you can tell we've got a few labels to get sorted still. Bearing in mind we open in about 10 minutes, so we're going to have to start talking quite quickly. Beautiful carbon fibre with the GSO scopes. Next up we've got another carbon fibre scope. This is our 125 f7.8 Stellar Myra. Really nice visual instrument these. Great carbon fibre, great optics. These are ED doublets, so this would make a lovely visual instrument. They make a good solar instrument as well, good for astrophotography, good for a bit of planetary. I would say more of a visual instrument though. That's what I think they're best suited for. But as with most scopes, you can use it for multiple things. But I would personally use this for visual, lunar, planetary, and with the appropriate filters, a bit of solar as well. It's a very lightweight It's not grab and go because of the size of it, but how lightweight it is for the aperture is pretty amazing. Next up is our new Stella Mira 106 quad. So this is a quadruplet, which means you don't need a flattener. All you need to do is come to focus and you'll have a nice flat field. Lovely focusers on these, really robust, rack and pinion, huge focusers. We've got a whole range of the quadruplets. We've got the 86mm above, and then we've got a 66mm come in, 126 and 126mm come in by the end of the year as well. So we'll have a complete family of quadruplet f7 telescopes in the Stella Mira family, and we've seen some lovely results from both of these models, and I think they're very well priced. At the top is our Stella Mira 90mm triplet. It's been around for a while now. We use these in our remote observatory in Spain. This has got a carbon fibre tube, very lightweight, great focuser on it again, and just a really tried and tested telescope that's proven itself to be very good and very reliable. So that's our first telescope tree. Our second telescope tree, this half is William Optics, and at the bottom we've got the William Optics Pleiades 111mm f4.8 astrograph. Incredible build quality from William Optics. I hope the camera does it justice, but the blue really pops, and it's just beautifully machined. Every bit is just spectacular. Huge focuses on these, center focusing again, so you do not get the flexure you sometimes see with rear focusers. I mean, this is a bit of a beast. It really is. Beautiful telescope, handle on the top. Yeah, what's not to like? Next up is the UltraCat 108. So this is I think this is a quad, f4.8. Again, lovely color scheme, beautiful build quality. With William Optics, the optics are always fantastic. You don't really need to, eat all the models, right from the triplets, the quadruplets, and even the doublets. William Optics are great optics, great mechanics, real premium telescopes. Above that, we've got the RedCat 91. So this is the big brother of the RedCat 51, the tried and tested RedCat 51. Really nice red colour scheme on these, and the cat branding that we see on a lot of the William Optics scopes these days. This has got the centre focusing again, built-in rotator, f4.9. This is a 5-element, so again, all you've got to worry about is coming to focus. You haven't got to worry about back focus distance and all that kind of stuff. We're seeing more and more scopes head in that direction, which makes life a little bit simpler for astrophotographers. Next up, William Optics FLT 91. Move the label out the way for you there. I mean, there's something with the William Optics that always looks stunning. You know, different colour schemes, but beautifully made, beautifully anodized, incredible telescopes. Always very good focusers on these, and as I say, always very good optics. Big chunky focuser on this one. And then next up, we've got the UltraCat 76. So we've got a few cats on display here. This one is their commemorative edition, a 30th anniversary edition. Nice cat branding again, but yeah, beautiful telescope. Big chunky focuser on this again as well. Center focuser, and then this one also has the tilt exterminator built in, which is a new William Optics development, and it allows you to finely tune, just with little thumb wheels on the side, your sensor tilt. So you can really dial in your camera perfectly to get stars nice and tight in all the corners. Pleiades 68 f3.8 astrograph on top. This is a 7-element design. Very fast, wide, flat field, suitable for large camera sensors. Center focusing again. I like the Pleiades blue and black color scheme. I think it really pops. So with William Optics, there really is something for everybody here. So come and take a look. On this side, we've got our ASCAR and Sharp Star range. We've got a ASCAR 140 Apo on the bottom. This is in the same range as the 203 we showed you earlier and the 120 we showed you earlier. I think my favourite is the 120 or the 160. I think the 120 for me is the sort of portable sweet spot, and there it is. But there is a 103 as well, which is just above that. So there's sort of something for everybody in that range. I also think the next sweet spot for me is the 160. I think the 185 and the 203 are fantastic scopes, but not as portable. I find, at that point you need a couple of people to help you lift it onto the stand, whereas I think the 160 is manageable and incredible value for money, as is the 140. You've got the 130 PHQ next. Again, there's a lot of scopes in the PHQ range. So the Apo range is triplets. The PHQ range is quadruplet or quintuplet flat field scopes. So with the Apo range, you're going to want to have a flattener on the back. With the PHQ, there are optional reducers, but you don't need a flattener because it's already got those extra glass elements built in, so you just need to come to focus. With all of these ASCAR scopes, the focuses are excellent, really, really robust, designed for astrophotography from the very get-go. You've got a 91 flat field at the top there, which is really good value for money. So the flat field range are kind of their more value range of the offerings. Then you've got the triplet Apo range, and then you've got the PHQ, which are the quads or quintuplets. And then you've also then got the SQA. So we've got an SQA 70 at the top. And that's a quintuplet astrograph. So with ASCAR, you've really got a few different ranges now, and then lots of apertures within those ranges. So no matter what you're trying to do, what type of astrophotographer you are, or whether you're a visual person, there's something here with ASCAR, and you've got that consistent build quality across the range, and very good value for money, frankly. So yeah, that's our telescope tree. There's just a couple of bits left in the middle. We've got another Mulan 180 here. This is on our new Stella Lyra Altaz fork mount. So this is a beefier version of the Astro Essentials fork mount, bigger payload, more robust, physically larger separation, and this is on our Stella Lyra tripod, showing you how far it can be extended. The Mulan 180 is the smaller version of the 210, so incredibly sharp mirrors, beautiful optics for lunar, planetary, observing, that type of thing. We've got here another Stella Lyra tripod, but this has got our new 2-inch Altaz friction clutch mount. This is a really tiny little visual kind of grab and go mount. We've only just released it, and it's got a nice ZWO FF80 Apo refractor on the top. Not for any particular reason, this one. It's probably not what you would tend to use on it. This is more of an imaging telescope, but it was, just a match-up that we had at the show. So yeah, there we go. That's our telescope display. Let's just move on to our pulsar display. So Pulsar Observatories is now part of the First Light Optics family, as many of you will know. And these are manufactured in the UK, managed by my colleague Steve Collingwood, who's over here. And this is the first time we've ever had two domes on display. And we've got the 2.7 metre here on the right, fully set up and motorised, so people can come have a look, come and play, come and see it moving. We've also got these colour panels now, so the majority of domes are white, and white domes generally are available within 2 to 3 weeks of ordering these days. But if you want a different colour, we have the pebble grey, and then we have the green. So these are the two commonly chosen other colours that are available. But you can also have a custom colour. Any RAL code can be used. Here we have our 2.2 metre dome, again fully motorised. So come and have a look at this. Hopefully, having both set up side by side, you can get a feel for the difference in the size and what is the right size for your needs. What's really exciting is we have a new product. This is our prototype of our imaging pod that's going to be sold under the Pulsar Observatories branding. So we're going to have several sizes of these. This is our small mini pod for smart telescopes. This will be fully motorized, but this is our first off the line prototype, and the motorization is something we're working on in the background. We do have the motorization working on our 3D printed prototype, but we don't have it yet on our production plastic molded model. But you can see this will take sea stars, dwarfs, Vesperas, some of the unistellars, and it's easy to install in your back garden. There'll be an app to be able to open and close it. There'll be built-in charging options for your smart telescope, and it will just be a really easy way to be able to leave your smart telescope outside, control remotely to be able to open and close. Yeah, so this is our prototype. The nuts and bolts and stuff like that won't look like that. We're in a bit of a rush to get something to show you all at the show, but we're really excited about the potential of these imaging pods. As I say, there'll be two larger sizes, one that will take, the next size up will sort of be designed for 80mm refractor on something like an AM3, a small harmonic drive mount, and then the larger size will be designed for an 8-inch RC type size, 9¼ SCT size on like an AM5 or an EQ6 type mount. So there'll be two more sizes in the range, and we'll have more information about these coming very soon. Let us swing around the side of our stand here, and then we've got Dob Alley, as we like to call it. As you can see, we're running really late now because it looks like people are starting to come in, so we're going to move very quickly. We've got our Ursa Major 6-inch planetary Dobsonian here. This is great for beginners. So what we've done is we've kept the same great mirrors as all of our other Dobsonians, but we've cut back a little bit on, so it only has a single speed focuser, doesn't have as many accessory eyepieces come with it, has a standard straight through finder and a more simple Dobsonian mount design. But what it means is it's incredible value for money, great starter telescope, and then we've got the 8-inch in the same range as well. So again, come and have a look because it shows you there's not a huge difference between the 6 and 8-inch in terms of portability. So actually for most people, the 8-inch is probably the sweet spot. Then we move on to the Stella Lyra range. These have the extra handles. We're all about the handles. So these now have handles on top, double handles on the side to make them a lot easier to move around. These come with the right-angled finders. These come with the extra eyepieces. You get 3 eyepieces rather than 2. And they have the dual speed focuser. So all of the Stella Lyra range have that. We have the 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, and then the big 16-inch at the end. So you can see they all follow the same design. They all have the clutch system on the side of the Dobsonian mount, so it makes them really easy to tune how much tension you want. All of the Dobs have lazy Susan bearings, so they're super smooth to move around. And then the 16-inch is a truss tube design to make it a bit more portable as you can make a 16-inch telescope. This has an Astro Devices encoder system on it, but it also has a MEMSTAR, so we use both on this for testing. The Astro Devices uses encoders for the push-to system, whereas the MEMSTAR uses sensors. The Astro Devices is much more accurate, being an encoder-based system, but it is a bit more expensive and harder to install. The MEMSTAR gets you to within 1 degree of accuracy, so for visual, the MEMSTAR works really well. And is a bit more of a budget option. So we use this for outreach. It's a beautiful telescope, but it is pretty big. Once you get to that level of aperture, you really do open up a lot of objects for deep sky. In the background, we're not going to go through it, but in the background is our clearance corner. So at the IAS show, we always have our clearance corner. This is our biggest ever clearance corner. I think there's about 500 or 600 items here, all with individual price labels on, really good discounts. So come along and grab a bargain. We'll just finish off with our eyepiece display over here. Well, I say that, we won't finish off. I've missed a couple of bits, so we'll come back to those. But this is our eyepiece display. We've got some TeleVue Type 7 eyepieces on display here, and some of my TeleVue demonstrator models as well. So these are in some nice little glass cabinets, but come along, have a look. If you want to have a feel, please give us a shout, and we're happy to get them out and let you try them. Then we've got our new beginner leaflets. So let me just move this out of the way for a second. Put those up there. These are our new range of beginner leaflets. We've had the beginner leaflets before, but we've now revamped them. So the idea with these is we're happy to provide these free of charge to societies doing outreach, anyone doing outreach. We've got 8 different beginner leaflets. You can see planetary observing, lunar observing, comet observing, deep sky observing, solar eclipses ready for next year, meteorites, solar observing, and aurora observing. And these give a bit of information to beginners, where to start, what to look for, where to look. And we do a lot of outreach ourselves, and we always find we're always lacking something to give to people to help them then go and find out a bit more or do a bit more reading. And particularly like with the solar, it explains a little bit more about what sunspots are, what the solar cycle is. It lets you give a bit more information than you might have time to do it at a public outreach event. These have been designed by Steve Kelly, and they look beautiful. All the imagery and all the text has come from Dave Eagle, my colleague. So it's something we've put together, and I'm happy to provide free of charge to anyone that's doing outreach. Then we've got our Stella Lyra range of eyepieces. and some of our Astro Essentials eyepieces and some of our Ursa Major eyepieces, as well as our Barlow range and Tele-Extender range in here. I've completely run out of time, so I'm not going to go into massive detail on those, but again, come and have a look, and we can always film some additional videos at other events where we go into a bit more detail on eyepieces. I'm just going to finish off really quickly on one last thing, which is we've got a new we have a Starbox over here, Colin McGill with a Starbox. We have some demo units, but we've got a new this is designed by a Starbox, and this is sold under the Lynx Astro brand, but this is a new power box. It's very good value for money. It's going to be sort of £79, £89. We haven't decided yet. It literally, this is the first one of one, but the idea is it's a pretty dumb power box to keep the price down. One XT60 power in, you get 4 outputs, and then you've got 2 dual outputs. They're on all the time. Everything is 100% on all the time. It does have reverse polarity protection, but it is a pretty dumb power box. But for people that just want to route their cables without spending a great deal, this is a really good option. We think that'll be really popular. We've also got a new range of cables that go with this, which all use the XT60 connectors. So these are all the Lynx Astro cables that allow you to design your cable loom to suit your exact needs. So we've got all different lengths, all different connectors, and it complements really nicely the Starbox, which is a Raspberry Pi based kit to build your own Power Hub and mini computer for your astrophotography. So again, come along and have a look at that. Next to that is my colleague Dave's. He's got some of his books on sale here today. So again, come and have a look. He's got a really great affinity book, Pix Insight book, lunar and planetary imaging book, and a Photoshop book. So come along and have a look. I think it looks like the doors are fully open here, so we're gonna sign off. I'm sorry it took longer than we expected, but we've got a lot of stuff here. Probably too much stuff. I think this is probably the biggest show we'll ever do. So please do take the time and come and have a look. And if you want to find out anything else about any of the things we've talked about, please reach out to the help desk, and the team on the help desk will be very happy to help you. So that's questions@firstlightoptics.com, or check out the website firstlightoptics.com, or check out the new Pulsar website, pulsarastro.com as well. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.